Hey guys, wInevitable here with another little video tutorial on the hero Tyrande. Tyrande, however you say it, say potato, you say potato, she is the ranged support from the WarCraft universe, and how do I say, a very unique hero in that she's, classified as a support, but it's a little bit like Tassadar in that she is more of an off support, off damage kind of hero. Fits in really well with certain team comps, not so much in others. She kind of has, she has a stun. She has an ability to deal, quite a bit of damage, and then of course there's a bit of scouting to her, you could say, almost with the owl that kind of comes down. It's a very, very unique hero with a unique skill set that we're going to get into here. Definitely more of the, whereas not, I wouldn't say easy to play, more higher skill cap, a little bit harder to use compared to, say, a Stitches, somebody with like the skill shot, that hook, landing that hook is very important. Zeratul can have, a high skill cap to him. Tyrande is right up there, with them. Probably, one of the hardest heroes in the game to play really well, I think. Just because she's got multiple skill shots and they can be hard to land. Knowing when to use them is also difficulty with her, and of course, she is paper thin. We just went over a couple tanks. We looked at Diablo, we looked at ETC, and now we're looking at Tyrande, and she is the bottom of the health pool, 635 hit points base at level 1. That is like, you can't. Who is lower than that? Abathur and Murky, and I think Nova is no. She's actually the lowest at level 1. After an Abathur and a Murky. 635 hit points. And at level 20, it's not much better, to be honest. You've got 2850, which is above, she's above a Vala and a Nova at level 20, but not by much. So she's very, very squishy. You can see her auto attack damage here is level 1, it's 30. Now it will scale up. Let's get these windows open. Okay, so 30 attack damage here, it's 1.25, so she's got a fast attack speed. That's like one of the fastest. Fall stat's a bit faster, 1.4, but 1.25. It's pretty good attack speed. It's 30 plus 9 per level. So while it's low damage to begin the game, it's 201 damage at level 20. So it scales up like most of the more of the assassin type heroes going into the late game. But you do have to play really safe with her. She folds like a house of cards, man. You can just see that right here with this low health pool, and it's not much better at 20, as I was saying. With that in mind, let's go ahead and look at her abilities. We'll look at the trait first. Hunter's Mark. So, kind of a long cooldown, 20 seconds. And what this does is it will mark a target enemy, increasing all damage taken, so it makes them vulnerable, by 25%, revealing them for 4 seconds. And you can, of course, not use it on structures. There's a talent upgrade for that, which we're not going to really take in this build. And actually to think about the build as we're going through it, this is more of a this isn't the straight owl build you've seen if some of you are looking for that one. This is more of just a team fight, actual competitive style build depending on the matchup and everything. So we'll cover a couple different options though as we go forward. If I throw the D out there, right, like that, you can see the mark over his head, and for 4 seconds he's going to take extra damage, and you can see that eye was there showing that he was revealed, and while that eye's up he's taking additional damage. It will disappear after that time. He's no longer revealed, and of course then he's no longer taking the additional damage. This is really useful against heroes like Arthas, against those tanks with those large health pools. You can use this to melt them, and if you combo your other abilities with it, it's going to stack up even higher. But before we actually do that, let's toggle these guys off for a second. We'll show off her Q. It is Light of Elune. Mana cost 45 and a cooldown of 6 seconds. Very low cost, very low cooldown. Heal yourself for 55. If you cast it on an ally, it will heal you and it will heal them for double. So we go in here, we're going to try and tank some damage. I think I'm just going to run right past these dudes. Now you can see 2 tower shots took away like almost a third of my health. Okay, so and then Malfurion healed me. We're going to go take a couple more tower shots. Alright, so we cast this on him. You can see I healed a little bit there, and it also healed him. It can heal both. You could just heal yourself if you need to, like this, but you can also heal someone else and still heal yourself for the full amount. Really, really important to keep that in mind. Good Tyrande players are going to be healing their allies more than they heal themselves whenever that opportunity arises, because you're going to get the same benefit out of it as if you'd healed yourself by healing somebody else. It's also a very low healing amount at 55 here at level 1. Let's reset that level before we level up to 2. It's 55 at level 1, and it scales up to 245 at level 20. So very low. This is why she's more of an off support. It's not Uther style healing going on. The W is where the scouting comes in. It does a bit of damage. You launch a sentinel across the map. Basically now, it will stop at the first hero hit. I nailed Arthas with it. It deals a bit of damage. It's 76 at level 1, 380. 380 at level 20. It does a good chunk of damage. And we're going to be starting into it a little bit to do even more damage with it, but it's a skill shot you have to land. As well as you can scout. You could maybe look on the mini-map. You want to know if they're taking a certain camp, like the boss camp, or maybe the hard and easy camps that are situated next to one another on Garden of Terror. You can scout locations like that and do some damage with it. A little bit of damage. It reveals for 5 seconds as well. So it's good scouting information. And if you're good at using it, you know where to target it, usually in choke points or on objectives. You can kind of see what the enemy team's up to. You can also interrupt things like a Dragon Knight channel or a Blackheart's Bay turn-in at the ship there, or say a channeling of the tribute on Cursed Hollow. Pretty cool. Very useful. This is, you can use it a lot of different ways, and the good players with Tyrande are going to know how to use it most effectively. Something you have to play around with and get used to. Then E is her stun. This is the mana cost of 60. So you can see long cooldowns here. 6 seconds on the Q, but it's 18 seconds on the Sentinel and 12 on the Lunar Flare with, medium, kind of expensive mana cost. So she does burn through mana pretty fast. Now the Flare, after a short delay, it's hard to land because of this delay. It stuns for a second and it deals 108 damage. So it's 108 damage at level 1. And this scales up. It's 450. So it does scale really well. It's 18 per level. 450 damage is quite a bit at level level 20. And that's important as we get through the build later on. But see, what you do is you target it. You can hit multiple people with it, but it is that delay, right? So if I cast it 1, 2, it's like a 2-second delay, maybe like 1.5. It's about 2 seconds right there, and that's why it can be hard to land. Arthas is standing still, but if he's running away, you can also dodge it quite easily because if I cast it, and he could see that coming, and a good player is usually going to be able to get away from it. Where the flare is really works well is comboed with another stun, maybe an Arthas root, an Uther stun, the Hammer of Justice or the Kerrigan combo, because they're pinned down for a second. So you can kind of combo. You can launch the E while they're stunned from somebody else's CC, and then it's like a chain CC, and you keep somebody locked down for a long time. And also in choke points. If you look at the radius on it, like come over here to the gate, I can't completely block the gate with this, but I can do it. It's pretty hard to dodge it if you cast it in the right location. Depending on if he's down here, I could cast it like right there, and he won't be able to escape. Or I could cast it like right here. You can kind of zone someone out with it and keep them from necessarily escaping if you're really good with it. And I generally try to cast it a little bit behind someone when I think they're going to run away. But of course, the Arthas, maybe he could have gone to the left, then he would have been vulnerable to our attacks for a longer period of time. So really high skill cap on this, because the Owl and the Lunar Flare, the Sentinel and the Lunar Flare are both skill shots that you kind of have to get used to landing and knowing when and how to use them effectively. Okay, so there's 2 heroics as well that one I definitely prefer over the other, but it's really situational that in using both. So we'll talk about there's Shadowstalk and there's Starfall. Starfall is generally my go-to, but we'll talk about Shadowstalk a bit first as we level up. But let's go through the build, going up 1 through 7 here. All right, so resetting, going back to level 1. We're going to take Pierce, and what happens here is your Sentinel will actually travel past the first hero hit. And this is great because say I hit the Arthas with it, it keeps going and it gives me more scouting information. This means it can hit multiple heroes, deal damage to multiple people, and it will keep traveling, and it doesn't just stop at the first person hit, it gives you full map vision across that path.
So be.
And it works well later. Now, you could say if you're in a situational build, like if I'm against like an Abathur or a Murky, what you might want to do, and this isn't going to be what I would recommend in most cases, but you could take Empower, which reduces the cooldowns, right? So then every time you hit somebody with a hero with the Sentinel, it reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds. Those do stack. And then of course there is the level 16 upgrade we're going to talk about, where the damage is increased, and you can actually do some pretty cool things with those. We'll talk about that once we get through the full build. We'll go over that a little bit. It's more of a niche pick. But level 4, we take Piercer on level 1. Level 4, you've got a couple choices. Generally with this, we're going to go Protective Shield or Healing Ward. The idea is if they have a lot of burst, the shield is really good to survive that initial burst. It's in an instant. In this case, level 7 is 430 hit points. Now, it's not going to be that. It does scale up per level, so it's a little bit less at level 4. And it increases as the game goes on. But this is great against burst. If it's not really burst you're worried about, Healing Ward is definitely the way to go, all things being equal. Because the Healing Ward is going to be 3% health per second for 10 seconds. So that could be 30% if you stand in it for the full duration. These are great in team fights. You want to be careful placing them somewhere because auto attacks do kill them. Some abilities will kill them as well, like the Tyrial Q. The Eldruin's Might will actually kill that. Not sure if that's a bug or not right now. And there you go. I could actually hit him with that. I thought I was going to miss for a second. But yeah, so the Healing Ward is great, and this adds to her support because that heal is just so weak. It's not a lot on its own, that the Healing Ward really helps out. And then what we're going to do, so it's between these two. And then level 7, we're going to take Battle Momentum for the reduced ability cooldowns. Now, I guess in a certain map, you might want to take the Mule, like, I'm thinking in a really rare case, you might want to take that. Usually you see Battle Momentum or True Shot. And True Shot is better if you take Empower on here, but we'll talk about that build a little bit, like, towards the end of the video. Generally, you want to go with Battle Momentum. I'm thinking in a rare case, like you're on Sky Temple and you need 2 mules because you're falling behind or something, you could take it potentially on her, but you really don't ever see that either. The one you do see taken if you don't see Battle Momentum is the Cloak here, Shroud. Oops. Knocking my mic over. Alright. Think we're good. Okay, so this catches people by surprise all the time, works well with like a Kerrigan. Sneaky, right? If you heal them with your Q, they are cloaked for 5 seconds. And if people aren't expecting this, all of a sudden, bam, the combo lands. The Kerrigan lands your combo on you, and the rest of the team is there to follow up. You're dead. So, you might want to play around with this in the right comp. If you have like a Kerrigan on your team, you could definitely make this work. But it's more situational. Generally, it's Battle Momentum, and I'm thinking in a very rare case you might take, like if you wanted like 2 mules or something, if for some reason you need a mule, you could potentially take it on her, but it's by and large Battle Momentum and then Shroud if you have like that Kerrigan or somebody you need to initiate the combat and you want to cloak them, just kind of be a little bit cheeky with your play. So we take Battle Momentum here, and then going up to level 10, we'll show off Shadowstalk. They're both pretty cool abilities. Shadowstalk is a cooldown of 70 seconds, so it's a shorter cooldown, and it will actually cloak you and your teammates, all allied heroes, for 8 seconds, and it reveals enemy heroes for 8 seconds. This is everybody on the map. There's no range. It's global. It costs 75 mana, so it's a cheaper. I believe Starfall is 100, so it's actually a cheaper cost as well, and it works a little bit like this.
Elune, hide you.
You can see we're cloaked. He is revealed. This is really cool on certain maps, like Garden of Terror. You can see where everybody is. It's map packs for 8 seconds. Really awesome.
Yes, of course.
If you're a comp, the thing that Starfall adds damage. If you don't need more damage, and for some reason you need to know where people are, like they have a Zeratul and a Nova, or they have an Abathur and a Murky, and you're hunting the Abathur Murky, Shadowstalk is really useful in those cases. If you don't need the damage. Generally, though, I think most teams with a Tyrande are running her as an off damage and they want that Starfall, and so that's why we're going to go ahead with the Starfall. But there's a lot of options with Tyrande. She is a very flexible hero in that you can build her a lot of different ways. So we're going to stick with this build for now and then go with Starfall here. You can see it is a 100 mana cost, and what this does, the radius, that's the cast radius. In an AoE, it's an AoE ability. It deals 80 damage per second here at level 10, slows them by 20%, and it lasts for 8 seconds. The same length as the Shadowstalk. And I can actually stack on this.
Let us make haste.
Oh, I missed.
The goddess blesses
I missed my my owl. We still did a ton of damage. Or did I miss the stun? We can actually, let's try that again. So we come in here.
Feel the wrath
Ah!
of the heaven.
There we go. And I didn't actually mark him with the hunt there. But if I had actually marked him right away, he would have melted. So that's just a really, there's a lot of combos here. Minions are coming. Alright, so. But that's basically how it works. This is good on when you can force a team fight, like on an objective, like a temple on Sky Temple, the Tribute Cursed Hollow, or maybe you're fighting over a boss camp. Lots of options here.
Burn with the goddess's light.
And you actually want to throw the mark down when the stun is in the air, so that you actually, the stun damage will stack as well. Able to kill him that time. But yeah, so if you actually cast the flare, and then if there was a hero there and then you cast the Hunter's Mark on them, you'll get the benefit there. Another cool combo ability. And you can stack both of those, of course, with the Heroic, and you can owl them as well. Pretty cool. And of course, why I'm showing you this is because then on 13, you can take Rewind. There's two big choices here. I mean, maybe occasionally you'll see a Shrink Ray. If there's one troublesome hero, like an Odin, or it's a Dragonite or Garden of Terror kind of thing, like something you need, like an Archon. Actually, an Archon is a really big deal. You can half their damage and movement speed with this, but it's more situational. Generally, you're going to see either the Lunar Blaze, where you increase the range of the stun, the Lunar Flare, by 50% and the impact area by 33. This makes it really easy to land stuns on like 2 or 3 heroes with the Lunar Blaze, whereas with the other one, you get usually 1 or 2. If they're clumped, you can get 2. Generally, you only get 1, though. Or the Rewind, which is a generic talent. And so what happens is, if I take a Rewind, I want to show this one off, really, instead of the range upgrade. What I can do,
Feel the wrath of the heaven.
I can keep him, like, chain stunned.
Meet your end.
And he was full health, and we're going to kill him. Like, you can do that, and if it was just 2 of us, if it was, like, a full team here and a full team fight, you can instantly erase somebody. Like a Kerrigan, they jump in, you just erase them. And then you've got your battle momentum going the whole time, so you're going to reduce cooldowns and everything else as well. But you get, I could have also had 2 heals in there. I could have had a second owl. I only used 1 owl in that. It's really very, very, like, I don't know, I want to say high skill, but it's tricky. So you kind of have to play around with this hero a lot to really get good at landing all of these abilities and comboing them together. But the other thing you can do with the Rewind is you can use 2 owls and do a lot of damage. Because at level 16, I'm going to tell you to take Ranger. The 2 choices here, Ranger and Shooting Star. Shooting Star, your flare deals 50% more damage. More damage. More damage! It's like, it's 378 already. That's 100 and, I hate doing math. I always do math. It's like almost 190 more damage on that. 189 more damage. And if you hit a hero, it's all the mana right back into your pocket. It's like a Black Friday sale, right? But even better, it's 60 mana coming right back to you. The Ranger, meanwhile, increases the width by 100% so you can hit multiple heroes with it if they're clumped up, right? It also gives you a larger vision radius so you can see more of the map. And then it increases damage dealt based on distance traveled. So, up to a maximum of 200%. So if you hit somebody across the map with this, 200% of 316, we're doing math again on stream, you'll be doing like 948 damage. I just did that really fast, so I hope I'm right. 948 damage. And you have Rewind. 948. We're doing math again. 1886. 96. 1896 damage.
Yes.
Somebody math check me right there. Get your calculator out. That's more that's more health than Abathur has. So this generally isn't going to be killing most heroes, but sometimes you will get a snipe across the map, and I want to show it off how it looks. We'll follow the owl as we cast it. Here we go. Well, it doesn't look any different, right? But trust me, it hurts. Let's actually clear the cooldown and try and hit the Arthas with it. I think he's going to run in the doorway. Nope, no, he came back. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to hit him eventually. So that that hurt. Clear cooldown. Did I cast it? Yeah, there I did. Oh. Well, he keeps walking away. It should do even more damage. Yeah, he's so close though. Maybe if I walk back up into here, I can get like really far away. This is a very small map. It's kind of hard to show this one off. And it's also harder to hit. Oh no, he's gonna walk into it. He's gonna walk into it. Yes. Well, that wasn't that much damage. I don't. He has a large. Oh, I haven't actually. I'm a noob. All right. Now that actually looks like a dangerous creature right there. I am such a noob. Why didn't you guys tell me I didn't select the talent? Come on. All right. Boom. All right. Now that does a good chunk. We'll show it off. I don't want to waste too much time on this, but where am I? Oh, I'm walking. I should have mounted up. Okay. So clear the cooldown. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna nail him with it real close. Ready? Boom. Okay. That did a little bit of damage. Remember, Arthas has a ton of health. He's not Abathur. If he was Abathur, he'd be like dead almost by now. Okay, we come back in here. There's a phone ringing too. But we're going to hit him with it, and you can see it's a bit more. I mean, this is a very small map, and I'm just trying to get as far away as I can. If you're on Garden of Terror and you're on the other side of the map, or Blackheart's Bay, you're on the other side of the map, Sky Temple. One shrine to another, one temple to another. Ouch! Okay, and if that hits 2 or 3 people, you can take away, what did we say, almost 2,000 health, 1,896, right? Isn't that what we said? That's a lot of health from one ability. You're not going to hit everyone. You're not going to get it every single time you use it. But occasionally, yeah, like I said, you will get kills. And against an Abathur or Murky man, you can destroy their Murky's egg, or you can kill the Abathur if he's not savvy enough. But that's why Ranger's a lot of fun. It also gives you more vision because it increases the width. Shooting Star isn't bad either. You know, you could try them both. If you're really good at landing your stun, and say if you took the Lunar Blaze here, if I took Lunar Blaze, I'd probably take Shooting Star. I don't know, it depends. I have to play around with it more to see which one I really prefer. You should probably do the same, but one of these two is going to work a lot. If you're good at landing them, Shooting Star isn't bad. You know, it's just going to do 50% more damage, and you're going to get all that mana back. Right into your pocket, and it already does a ton. And of course, if you're comboing it with Hunter's Mark, well, you're going to be doing a ton of damage. And if you have Rewind on top of that, it's damage bonanza here. And a good Tyrande will actually be able to. She can lead sometimes in hero damage. You know, it's nothing to snuff at if you play her right. That's why she's like off support, off damage. Level 20, generally a Bolt of the Storm is your go-to. Just Bolt of the Storm is really good to have. It's an escape. It can also you can blink in and then cast your Starfall or something, you know, if you need to, or you know, just to get to an objective and contest in time. Oh, you can see I missed it. Oh, the Shrink Ray from the Malfurion. Because he's slowed, I don't even need to use my rewind here.
Yes, of course.
Oh well, the Arthas came back out, but I was gonna rewind. I think I was holding 2. I was holding control down there so I couldn't hit the 2 to rewind, but generally I would have been able to just rewind instantly and cast the Owl. I was saving though to see if we could get him without it. Anyways, Bolt of the Storm, really good to engage and disengage. Storm Shield isn't bad if you guys need more sustain, but generally you don't see that taken. It's going to be like Bolt of the Storm or Celestial Wrath here, or the Hunter's Prey. The upgrade here for Shadow Stalk, it will actually give it a 25% move speed for that 8 seconds, and your next basic attack does double damage. It's more about the move speed than the damage, but the damage isn't bad either. Celestial Wrath adds 30% more damage to Starfall. So we're doing 140 damage right now. If I take this, 140, right? 182. So it's another 42 damage per second. And I'm not going to do the math, but 42 times 8 is something. Alright, so now your Starfall it also is now a global cast, so I could be back here in the Hall of Storm. Oh, he let me hit that one. I don't think I can kill him. I probably should have let him run away a little bit and then Owl, but without the cooldowns, without the rewind, we're unable to kill him. But in a team fight, really, really cool. And of course, you could even be a little bit far away from the battle because you have global cast range. But it's more about the damage if you need it. Bolt of the Storm, though, is a really good talent as well. And what I wanted to talk about, that's the basic build here, guys, for her. It's going to be that Pierce, just to give you more vision, more range on it. And because of the Ranger here on 16. If you opt to take that, Healing ward or shield, depending on if there's burst or you need more just sustained healing. You go with the ward is generally better, but if there's a lot of burst, I'll take the shield. Battle momentum for the ability cooldown, ability cooldown reduction. Starfall generally here, then the rewind, or you could take the blaze if you prefer the stun combo. You know, maybe, I don't know. This is really good against like a Kerrigan or melee warriors that are jumping into you. You can stun them twice in a row. It's very useful. I generally like this better than blaze, but the blaze isn't a terrible choice either, especially when you're learning to land the lunar flare. Then you've got the ranger here for the increased width and damage as it travels across the map is a really nice thing. Shooting star is pretty cool as well. So it depends on, you know, for this specific build, it kind of depends on your playstyle, which one you prefer. Try both. And don't forget the Q cloak here. The shroud is also a really sneaky tactic to use situationally if you have the right comp. Damage or bolt on level 20. And then, if say you're playing against an Abathur or a Murky, a very situational build that makes hunting them very easy. And this is like the old owl build you used to see all the time. You could still take this. This isn't bad. I just don't think I like it as much. Now that Healing Ward is back and viable again, what you'll still take Pierce, but instead of these Shield or Healing Ward, you'll take Empower, so when you hit now, it reduces cooldowns. I'm still not sure. It's 2 seconds off, and I think the idea is, I don't know, I'm not sure I still like this. I was going to say take Empower and then take True Shot Aura here for the extra attack damage and speed, and then take Shadowstalk, Rewind, and Ranger, and then your choice of whichever one you want. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't think you need this, actually. If you're hunting like an Abathur or Murky, you can do this with the other build, actually. You don't need this anymore. You could actually just do, if you know where the Abathur or the Murky egg is, you just basically line up on them. And if you have Shadowstalk, right, for hunting the Abathur, it makes finding him really easily. You'd Shadowstalk, you would Owl, say he's this turret, I Owl, I Rewind, and then I Owl again. And if you do it, I could have done it a little bit faster. Both Owls will hit before he can move, and it will, if he's far enough away, it'll insta-give him. He's just splat, goodbye Abathur, you know, especially if you have like a level lead. And as I said, if you're very far away. I don't know, this is the old build, used to see this a lot. I mean, you know, one of the two heroics, doesn't matter which one, but used to see this a lot. I don't think I like it as much, just because the Healing Ward is so much healing. And then you get the reduction here on your cooldowns with battle momentum. You give up some damage and speed. This is really good if you're like, you know, in a Bloodlust comp, or you've got like a Rainer, a Vala, somebody that need, you know, like really benefits from that. I don't know, an auto attack assassin. This isn't terrible, but generally, by and large, you're going to see Healing Ward into the battle momentum. And I think, yeah, if you're running a lot of auto attackers like a Sergeant Hammer, this might be better. But that's the way I like to build it. You know, this one, the Pierce into the Healing Ward or the Shield, into the battle momentum, into the Starfall with the Rewind, and then Ranger. And finally, you got your choice of more damage or the Blink. So that's going to do it for Tyrande, guys. You know, I've got more videos. We're going to do some gameplay. I've got a bunch of heroes. I don't know, like 8 heroes now that I've got to do gameplay videos for. Where I actually go in and play the builds out and show them off in-game. Miss some stuns, miss some skill shots, right? Have a lot of fun. But, you know, still, I think 7 more heroes we haven't covered. You've got like Jaina, Murky, Gazlo, Zagara, and a few others, 3 others that we haven't had a chance to look at yet, so they're still going to get to them eventually. And then I think there's a couple maps, like Haunted Mines, I don't think we've looked at. And I don't know if there's another one. But there's still a couple maps we want to look at, like take a more advanced look at and see how people are approaching them competitively with some replays and things. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to wrap this one up, and, you know, I'll get back with some gameplay soon. So I will see you guys on the Nexus.